Hello, here we are again, Monday the 4th of April. So hello, welcome, Monday the 4th of April, here we are settling in to another working week, trying to maybe chase our own tails, trying to catch up with ourselves. There's a lot going on at the moment. There's a lot going on from people I've spoken to. I have heard that people are finding it very difficult to keep up. There's lots coming at you all the time. You feel bombarded. You maybe feel stressed out, wound up. So let's just start today with a moment or two just to breathe. So set down whatever you're doing. Don't try and multitask and watch this or listen to this while doing something else. Take a minute right now and just take 3 deep breaths. So breathing all the way in and all the way out. And just do that a couple of times. Take 3 breaths all the way in, all the way out. Allow your shoulders to drop. Give yourself permission to take a breath. Give yourself permission just to breathe. So let's just do that now. Let's just breathe in. Feels better, doesn't it? Life can be so busy, can be so frantic. Your brain can feel full. I have lost count of the number of times I have used the phrase, I don't have the bandwidth to deal with this, because there's been so much coming in. It's almost like my brain is on old dial-up internet versus broadband versus fibre, and it's like my brain was going no, because there's just so much going on, and it's okay to take a break. Quite a few of you came back to me after last week's video and blogs and had said that you really resonated with the message of needing to pause and stop and slow down and give in to self-love and surrender and set down the weight of the world. So if you didn't catch that last week, I would urge you to go back and have a look at it, because I know a lot of people find it very helpful. So use this as your reminder that it is okay to stop. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to breathe. Okay, you're here to enjoy life, not to endure it. All right, so try and find some time for you. And I appreciate sometimes that mindfulness can be difficult if your brain's busy and your head's full and you're trying to maybe breathe and follow a meditation and you can't because your brain's so busy and there's lots coming in. If that's okay, do something else then. Maybe go for a walk, get outside, maybe do some exercise, dance, go boxing, do something to get that out. Particularly when you move your body, when you start to move your body, you find that the brain quietens down. So if you're finding it really difficult to find a moment of peace and the breathing and mindfulness thing isn't working for you, then maybe have a wee look at what else you can do. Are you able to move the body in a certain way? Are you able to put a piece of music on and just go nuts for 5 minutes and let yourself go? Well, do that. It's all about having fun. I had a really busy week myself last week. Lots and lots went on since I spoke to you. I took some time out though. Life was really busy, but I did take some time out and I went for my first float at Hydro Ease in Dundonald. If you have never been to Hydro Ease, please go and book yourself a session. It is amazing. So you go and you essentially float in about 25 centimetres of water with half a ton of salt, Epsom salt. And it's the most lovely thing. See, even just to allow your body to relax in that space. And it really surprised me as how long it took my brain to quieten down. But I have booked another session and I can't wait to go back, because I think the more you do it, the more your body will relax. So it's important to give yourself that time. So that's what I did last week in the middle of a busy week. I took the time out. My logical brain was screaming at me that, why would you take this time out? You are so busy. There are things you have to do. And I thought, no, because if I don't walk my talk and practice what I preach, and if I don't actually take the time to recharge my batteries, then I'll not be able to be of service, because I had so much on last week. I had first aid training to do. I had a lot of pressure with St. John Ambulance of things that I had to do for them, admin work. I also had ambulance shifts. I had, Reiki master classes to run. It was all happening all in 1 week. So the logical part of me might have said, let's not do that. Let's go off and just work. But thankfully, I listened to my intuitive self that said, no, you need to take this morning off and you need to go and sit and go and float in that tank, relax, allow your shoulders to come down. And it was the best thing ever, because it was like a reboot for the brain. I'm keeping up with that too, because I'm going for Reiki with my Reiki master this afternoon. So I'll get on with these cards, otherwise I'll run myself late. The cards I've chosen today have come from the Shamanic Medicine Oracle Deck. You will have seen this before, no doubt. The reason I've chosen this is because I've had quite a lot of people asking about shamanism lately, and asking when courses will be running again and when I'll be teaching it in person. I will be teaching it in person again. The Medicine Wheel Shamanic Practitioner course, I will be teaching in person again from September this year. I know that sounds ridiculously far away, but it's really not. There will be some introductory events and some more information coming out over the summer months. So if shamanism is something that speaks to you, or you're just intrigued as to what it's all about, do get in touch with me, because I will be running the Medicine Wheel in person again. It usually runs on the second Sunday of the month. If you want to start putting that in your diary, if it's something that you think you might like to do. It'll be starting on September the 11th, actually, Sunday, September the 11th. And I'll be giving more details about that nearer the time. But I've chosen the shamanic cards just simply because people have been asking about shamanism, but also because it is a way of life, and it is a way of understanding and embodying what's going on in life, particularly when the energy is very busy and chaotic and you feel overwhelmed. When you can tune in to what's going on around you, tune into what's going on within yourself, when you can tap into the support that's all around you, you will find that actually it's very beneficial. Today is also April the 4th. It is the 4th of the 4th. It is a power day. It is a day full of angelic and spiritual support. So for me, I always do feel my spirit helping team, my spirit guides and helping guides, all very close at this time, and they're always there. You just need to call upon them when you need their help. April is also Stress Awareness Month, so you will have noticed over the last few weeks the message from the cards has clearly been about self-care and self-love and surrender and things like that, and I want you to carry that forward into April and be aware that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay for things to come up. Please talk about them. Please reach out. Don't suffer in silence. Okay. The cards that have come up from the shamanic deck this week really speak of transition, change, stepping out of your comfort zone. And again, the theme of surrender that's been going on in the last couple of weeks is carried through. The cards that have come up this week, the first one is the Death card. Now, this is not something to worry about. This is not like about a person dying as such. It's about understanding the life, death, life, and the rebirth cycle of life, and the fact that energy is never created or destroyed. It just changes form. But what this card also talks about is the fact that we sometimes have to step out of our shadow. We have to, if you look at this, the person's in shadow stepping into the light, it's about stepping into that light, stepping out of our comfort zone. And that means sometimes that we have to let old stuff go. So I would ask you, what are you holding on to? that you need to let go of? What old patterns of behaviour? What old thought forms? Do you have limiting beliefs? Do you have habits? We all have habits that are not good for us. Are you doing things in a way that you know isn't really working, but you're kind of stuck as to work out what needs done, but yet you feel maybe pushed to make a change, but you're not sure what that change is? Is fear holding you back from stepping fully into your empowerment? So this card in the Shamanic Medicine Oracle Deck really speaks of the change in energy state. When you let go of old energy, it allows it to then change form and move into something else. And what actually surprised me, and I don't know again why I get surprised, but the next cards that came up were the ancestors and then the birth and renewal cards. So they all feed into each other. So the second card being the ancestors card here, if we think about this death card and the fact that, you know, maybe souls do need to transition and move on, but that energy and that wisdom gets passed into the ancestral realms, and we can draw upon that. So the ancestors card comes up here, and it's all about wisdom. When was the last time you honoured your ancestors? When was the last time you actually took a moment to be really grateful for the wisdom that has been passed down? Everything that they went through for us, every piece of wisdom, every piece of guidance. Okay, yes, there will be mistakes, there will be also traumas that we're carrying, and ancestral healing is a massive part of shamanic practice and a massive part of healing in general. But this card really speaks of the wisdom. And we can tap into that wisdom at any time. We just need to sit quietly and listen for it. You know, so maybe get some photographs of your ancestors, if you have any. You know, if you have photographs available, or even if you know their names, write their names down, or even just bring them to mind, even if you don't know who they are. And it doesn't necessarily have to just be biological ancestors here. We're talking even, you know, spiritual ancestry. You know, do you identify or feel an affinity with a particular culture or a particular ancestral heritage? Well, then maybe look into that a little bit more. Maybe from a spiritual point of view, there's wisdom there that needs to be passed to you. And again, ancestral ties and ancestral wisdom and guidance is something that we do a lot of during the medicine wheel course. So the death card coming up first, about stepping into your power, letting things go, transitioning into a new way of being. Harness then with the wisdom of the ancestors. And the third card that came up today then was the birth card, and all about renewal. And I almost sort of see these cards as the ancestors looking down on the life, death, life cycle on earth. That things have to pass on and transition in order to be reborn and to renew. And there's the concepts of reincarnation, concepts of renewal of energy. Even in nature, we see that through the seasons. At the moment, we're in the springtime season, so we're seeing the new lovely rebirth and growth. And this is very much what this card's all about. The birth and renewal. But it also, when you think about when something is birthed into existence, it takes a lot of faith to trust that it's going to work out. It takes a lot of faith to step into the unknown and to birth something into existence. If you even imagine from the point of view of, you know, a baby being born into the world, from the baby's point of view, it must be very, 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 you know, scary. They're in this lovely nurturing environment, and then all of a sudden they're birthed into this other strange place with bright lights and noise, and they don't know what's going on. That act of having, you know, feeling the fear, but having to move forward and to surrender the control And that ties directly back into this death card as well, that the transition and the need to let go of the being able to let go of the need to control how things work out, and to step fully forward, embracing whatever comes to you by way of a spirit of renewal, fresh energy. This is the time of year for that. This is the time of year with the freshness of spring. We're working with the seasons here. Working with the seasons. Lean into ancestral guidance and wisdom. Take a moment to, light a candle and think of your elders that have passed. Think of the elders that are still here. Talk to them, ask for their wisdom. In today's society, unfortunately, we often nearly sweep our older generation under the carpet and out of sight, out of mind, but they carry a lot of wisdom, and it would be worth our while to really tune into that and to learn from their wisdom, and to learn from the mistakes they've made, and to learn from the things that they would pass on to us if only we would listen. And then perhaps our renewal process would be so much easier, and we can blossom and grow. So I really think the 3 cards today, death, ancestors and birth, it's speaking very much to me about this being a time of transition. This is a time where you have to ultimately make a choice now. Do you keep doing the things you've always done? In which case you will continue to have the same result. Or are you brave enough to let old things go? To step out of your comfort zone? To lean into the spiritual wisdom around you and the guidance within, from your ancestors and from your spirit support team? And are you able then to birth something new into existence? So ponder that this week. Let me know what you think. Does it speak to you? Is there a message there that you can take? I know that personally I can take that I need to make changes. There's things I am still doing that I need to stop doing, and I need to trust that if I let go of them and actually birth something new into existence, it will be fine, and it will grow and be great and be wonderful. It is always, we're all human, and it's always about having the bravery to step forward. But we can step forward together as a supportive community. Remember as well, you're more than welcome at any time to join into our Intuitive Life Design coaching group, where we talk about things like this on a regular basis, and we work through processes to help you step forward into your full empowerment. And we also, anybody who's interested in the cards or interested in developing their intuition, we also have our Mystical Moon Days, which is a fortnightly meeting on Zoom, where we, primarily tarot focused, but we use intuitive development tools along the way. So there's lots of things out there, and you can join any one of our supportive communities as well, Any other announcements I have for you this week? Not really, nothing to report this week. You will hopefully have got the newsletter on the 1st of April with details of the Easter holidays and things, and the details about my daughter coming on board as another Reiki practitioner in the summer. So hopefully you got that. If you didn't, please do check your spam, and if you're not on the mailing list, do join. You're more than welcome. That's all I have to say really for today. I'm off now to, I'll get this put up onto YouTube and the blog created for you, and then I'm going to go and take my own advice and recharge my batteries for an hour with my Reiki master. And then I will be teaching tonight in the Mystical Moon Days group. So for those, I've just seen a comment, Alessandra, all I can see now is let go of the old and be ready for the new. Absolutely. And that is a massive theme, I think, for us all. So let's harness the energy of the season that we're in, which is springtime. And let's harness that and move forward with letting go of the old and bringing in the new, and see what difference it makes. Maybe make a vision board and create an action plan or some goals. And if you need any help with that, get in touch, because you can jump into our coaching groups anytime and get a little bit of help and assistance along the way. So I'm going to leave that with you for now. I'll be back again next Monday. Leave me a comment, leave me some thoughts as to how this spoke to you, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week.